Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Property Management 101, and for today's video, we're going to be discussing how to create a property management company from the ground up. If you made the decision to move forward and start your property management company, this is something I highly would recommend if you have the means and capabilities of doing so. It's a great rewarding industry, and I congratulate you of taking the step in this process. Before you begin, I would highly recommend consulting a local attorney and accountant that deal with real estate in your particular area. You want to make sure you have good advisement when it comes to these two areas, and any real estate attorney and or accountant will have a lot of great information that'll help you as far as how to set up your company in your particular area. Before you start the steps when it comes to setting up your property management company and meeting with an attorney and a local accountant, there's some things that you want to consider. What kind of properties are you going to be managing? How big do you want your company to be in the next 2 to 3 years as far as staff? You also want to consider, are you going to be migrating to any other particular area? For example, do you want to manage single family homes? Do you want to manage multifamily homes? Do you want to manage a mix of both? Do you want to consider managing commercial? These are all the things you want to have determined before you go seek advisement from a real estate attorney or a real estate accountant. This is also going to be important because before you start any of the steps to forming a property management company in your particular area, you want to make sure you have it set up that's in line with your goals and aspirations and strategy of your particular company. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 steps that you're going to want to do in this order to start a property management company from the ground up. I have personally taken these steps and formed my own property management company before, and these are the exact steps that I follow. Number 1 step to take to make sure that you set up your property management company correctly is you want to make sure you have those licenses and certifications that are required in your particular state and area. It may not be required at the time that you're setting up your company, but to practice that aspect in your particular state, you may be required to have either a property management certification or a real estate license. So you want to find this out before, because sometimes this could take weeks, if not months, to go through the training. Oftentimes, depending on the state, you may have a situation where these classes aren't always available. So you may have to wait several weeks before taking a class, and it may be several months before completing this class. So you want to make sure once you've actually set up your company, you already have your licenses and certifications that you'll be required to have for practicing property management in your particular area. If you're newer to property management, this is also a great way to learn if this is something you really want to form and go down the road in forming your own property management company. Through classes and the training that you'll receive for gaining your certifications or any other type of license that's required, you're going to have some exposure to when it comes to what really goes on behind the scenes and what is required in the property management industry. Also, you want to make sure you definitely determine what type of assets that you plan on managing at your company, because in certain states, this can actually be very different what type of license or certification you may or may not be required to have. So this is why I suggested before these steps that you determine what type of assets you look to manage. What I can share with you today is many states actually have a dynamic where it's not required to have a license to set up a property management company, but it is required if you're going to be managing assets on behalf of an owner. So you want to make sure you know what is required in your particular state and what type of assets you plan on managing. Welcome back to Property Management 101. For those of you that are new here, please allow me to introduce you to our community. This channel is dedicated to discussing best practices, offering valuable tips, and sharing tricks that are tailored specifically to the property management industry. You may have noticed there is an abundance of podcasts, channels, and websites out there providing information that's related to the property management industry. However, much of this content is focused on catering to investors and to property owners really maximizing their investments. Here is where we stand out. Our channel is created with you, the individuals in the trenches, in mind. We are here to support those that are actively involved in managing properties, ensuring that not only your efforts are worthwhile, but also highly effective. So whether you're a seasoned professional or you're new to the property management industry, you've come to the right place. Join us as we dive into proven practices for the property management industry, and we'll be discussing many different types of demographic and asset types in the property management industry. Thank you for being a part of our community, and we look forward to engaging with you on this exciting journey in the property management space. The second step that you want to take when forming and creating a property management company from the ground ground up is that you want to make sure you create a business entity. Your attorney will give you some really good guidance depending on what your goals are for a company. What is the best business entity to form for your particular company? The three most common are an LLC, a corporation, or an S Corp. And this is really going to be determined as far as what size of company you plan on having, where you're particularly practicing property management. And this is something your attorney and your accountant should definitely be able to help out with when it comes to what kind of business entity do you need to form for property management in your particular area. I recommend before you go to an attorney and or an accountant, you do some research online. There's some great websites now that will allow you to learn a little bit of information as far as what's best for your ideal property management company or any other type of business. If you're struggling to really know what to provide, some of these sites do a great job of asking you certain questions that allow you to provide some answers to that'll really help you as far as what type of business entity you want to form. I personally have used these sites to actually set up a business before, and they're very easy, very user-friendly, and they do a great job of guiding you through what needs to be done and some very important things to consider. If you're enjoying this video and you're learning something new, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for future videos. And the third step that you want to take when it comes to forming a property management company in your particular area is you want to register your business with your particular state. Now keep in mind, if your area that you're working in is actually on the border between 2 or more states, you may want to consider registering in multiple states if you plan on practicing property management in those areas as well. Now, you don't want to register in your particular state until you've actually formed a business entity and you've received any required licenses or certifications to practice property management in your particular area. You will not be able to register in your particular state without having a business entity and potentially without having required licenses and certifications. Some states will allow you to register your business online, but some states are going to require maybe a physical copy to be mailed in or a physical copy to be actually taken to a particular location. So this is something you're going to want to do a little bit of research on before you register your business with that particular state you plan on working in. Now, one of the good things about some of the websites I mentioned before that actually help you form your business entity is many of those will also help you file for business registration in your particular state, but they're going to complete the business entity side before filing with your state. This could take several weeks, even potentially a month or two. So you want to make sure you have everything organized when it comes to this last step as far as filing your particular business in your particular state or states that you plan on working in. If you're looking to gain information as far as where to go to file and register your business in your particular state, keep in mind when you're looking to register online or gain information online, what is required in your state as far as registering your business, you want to find a .gov domain. You want to make sure it's not an advertisement or something that takes you there or is trying to sell you something. So make sure when you get to this step, if you're filing on your own behalf, make sure it's a .gov when it comes to filing or learning about how to register your business in your particular state. And for video recap today, keep in mind these 3 steps and make sure you perform them in this order to create a property management company from scratch. Number 1, you really want to make sure you have all the required licenses and certifications that your particular area requires when it comes to performing property management duties. This is something that may or may not be required at the time of forming your business, but it will be required in most states to practice property management. And because this step can actually take several weeks or potentially months to collect and gain that information and go through those classes, you want to make sure you complete this as your first step. Number 2, you want to create a business entity. So this is most likely going to be an LLC, a corporation, or an S Corp. I would really consult your attorney and local accountant when it comes to this to give you some guidance as far as what you need to form as far as what type of business entity. And the third step that you need to perform when it comes to forming and creating a property management company in your area is you want to register your business with your particular state or states you plan on working in. You really want to make sure when it comes to this step you have completed as far as filing and creating an entity, as well as any licenses or certifications that are required in your particular state or area when it comes to performing property management duties. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for future videos. Before putting any of these practices into place, please watch our updated disclosure video as well as our updated why we do this video, which is the channel's why. And I'll be providing a link to both of those in the video description. And to stay on top of industry news, polls, and video releases, please feel free to connect with our LinkedIn and our Instagram page. If you have any questions about this video or any of our videos, feel free to leave a comment. I'll be happy to address it for you. Happy leasing!